My YouTube channel is dead and I killed it. I don't know how many times I've gone back and forth telling my wife, my poor wife who just puts up with me, how much I wasn't sure about like making a change in my content, whether or not I should start a second channel when I was making different type of content, and trying to like figure out how do I get all of the ideas and things that I want to talk about across without like ruining my channel and losing my audience and losing my views and making subscribers unsubscribe and all that stuff. And I'm so happy that I decided to say F it and just make the content that I wanted to make. And while this channel started as like a motivational learn how to code channel, now it's just like a mixed bag of self-improvement and some 40-year-old man crying on the camera. I've never actually cried yet, but there's still time. You guys just wait. I feel that I have opened up quite a bit, and I feel that I've talked about some topics that were really close to my heart, and I've talked about things that were personal, and I've talked about mental health, I've talked about my addictions, I've talked about self-worth and self-improvement, I've talked about things that I've done in order to try to work on all of those things. And I feel that at the end of the day, when I think about a legacy and what I leave behind, and I think about YouTube, and I think about what is this in 10 years for me, I can't imagine just talking about learning how to code, because really I respect the hustle. I'm not trying to shit on anyone. YouTube is a source for people to market, right? And a lot of people create channels with that idea in mind. And while I had a little bit of that in mind when I created my channel, I never really knew the direction that I ultimately wanted to go with my content. I talked about something that I felt I was experienced in, and that got traction, and I continued to make content on that. Eventually, I got bored. Don't see myself wanting to market on YouTube. Like, I really want to use it as more of a video diary, more of a way to maybe express myself or just talk about what's on my mind. Maybe a therapist who leaves me terrible comments that, you know, if I wasn't strong-minded enough, I might take to heart too much and get my feelings hurt about. I'm not gonna lie, some of those comments are spicy. Definitely some of them get to me. But at the same time, I see all the good comments. I see all the people that I have touched, and not like in a weird Michael Jackson-y kind of way. In a good way, in a way that makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. That even though I'm killing my channel and I'm not getting the views that I once was getting, I'm helping people. I've noticed in my coaching calls, I've noticed it there, and I wish I would have started those sooner, because I'm actually able to like talk one-on-one with people who consume my content. And while some of them just want general career advice, there's been a few conversations that I've had that have been people that I've helped on a personal level through my content. They genuinely appreciate like what I've done for them, and they are coming to me for advice. And it's funny because I don't take myself too seriously. I don't think of myself as like someone who has all the answers. I feel like I'm still trying to find the answers myself. And maybe that's what resonates with some people. Maybe that's where the connection is, because I'm not scared to admit that I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm still trying to figure things out at the ripe old age of 40 or almost 40. I'm still lost in a lot of ways, but I'm starting to figure out who I am. And I'm trying to make content on my videos about who I am and who I'm becoming, who I was. And while it feels like maybe there's no value in just sharing personal stories or personal anecdotes or things that don't necessarily help the audience, because I noticed that a lot of people who try to give life advice and do all that, like they talk at the audience. I don't feel that that's the approach I want to take. And maybe that hurts my channel. Maybe that's part of why my channel is dying, because I don't make content necessarily for the audience. And sometimes I sit here and I just rant like I'm just talking to a friend. And sometimes my conversations that I have don't go anywhere. I don't have a solution. I don't have the answer. I don't have what you're looking for. And maybe that's the answer. Maybe that's what we need. Maybe we need more people who aren't so full of themselves, that are able to be honest and real and talk about what they actually can talk about, not something that they're just regurgitating that they've consumed that day in order to make a video on. I've caught myself doing that today. I caught myself trying to make a video on growth mindset. I've actually been consuming a ton of content on it. I tried to do the video outside because I felt that maybe my videos would look a little nicer if I was out by the pool, and I feel that my talking head, boring ass videos are killing my channel. So I put so much thought into like every little thing, and I've done that in the past. And I realized that that might help sometimes with the views, but it feels disingenuous, at least to myself. The viewer might not notice that, but I notice it. I notice that I'm trying to make these little extra steps in order to make the video nicer. Like, look at this background. Like, look how symmetrical I am. I'm using the rule of thirds here. Like, my head's right in the middle here, and you got one perfectly framed part there and one perfectly frame part here, and I've got the curtains there. Like, I did this on purpose. Studied enough about framing and trying to make shots look good that I can't even try to make a video where I'm being genuine without like throwing in a sprinkle of that, because I know that it affects my views. And it's hard to not care, because at the end of the day, if my videos don't get views, then I don't touch and reach as many people. There I go, touching people again. I don't get my message across. And while my message sometimes may be jarbled up, ADHD, rambling of a former drug addict, delinquent, I feel like it's a message that I still want to try to spread. And if it negatively impacts my golden goose that YouTube is, I don't want to care anymore. I really don't want to care about the views anymore. I remember just wanting those views. I remember wanting those subscribers. I wanted the silver play button so fucking badly. I wanted that thing. I envisioned it. I manifested it, and I got it. And it's in a box. It's in a box in storage. It sat on my shelf collecting dust, and I put it in the background just so that I can have some cred, so that I can have some clout in my videos and in pictures I would post on the internet. And it's so funny what we become when we worry so much about the person we're trying to portray ourselves as, rather than, I said ass, rather than who we actually are. And I don't ever want to get so full of myself that I forget who I actually am. And I became this motivational learn to code guy, and I still do it sometimes, because sometimes I get a little fire under my ass and feel like, yeah, I'm gonna hype somebody up tonight, or I'm gonna talk to somebody like I would be talking to a friend of mine that really needed some help. And I know that I can get a little bit guru-ish at times. That's not who I want to be, and that's not who I am. And I just hope that I never convince myself otherwise, and I stay true to myself. And killing my channel for the sake of being able to continue to make content that I want to make, rather than content that I feel I have to make in order to get views, is liberating. It's like I'm burning my bra. Bruh. I'm burning my jockstrap. I am feeling empowered when I make videos like this, and it doesn't matter if it gets 10 views or 10,000 views or 100,000 views. It'd be pretty cool if it got 100,000 views, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I go back to that legacy thought. What do I want my kids to see when they look at my YouTube channel in 10 years, or when they're adults? Or, what if something tragic happened and I wasn't here tomorrow? Maybe I need a little more time to make more content, but let's say I wasn't here in a few years, and like my YouTube channel was the only thing I left behind, like besides pictures and a few home movies. And that was like what my kids would remember me by. They just want to think that their dad was a coder who was just, marketing on YouTube to sell courses and to sell tutorials. Again, no hate. I am in that circle with a lot of people that create content around this, and a lot of them genuinely want to educate. And so there's no hate there. It's just not my thing. But I think about, like, would want them to know who I am, and I would want them to be able to consume my content and feel a sense of pride, and know that their dad was human, and that he was trying to spread a good message by talking about his life and experiences. Here I go, I might actually cry. I feel a little choked up because just thinking about like that situation. And when I think about that, and this is some shit I was thinking about when I was tripping balls on my heroic doses, and I still am thinking about it months after those trips, because it's almost like I saw the way, what 10 years from now should look like for me on YouTube. And it's me talking about a lot of the struggles that I went through with learning how to code. It's also me talking about the struggles with addiction. It's me talking about my mental health issues. And it's me just sharing my story, trying to help people. And if that helps a few people, fine. If it helps millions, even better. But I want to be able to like live with myself and feel good about what I've created here. And I want to continue to reach people and help people through their struggles. And a large portion of my content was around doing that with programming. And I still do think that that's a wonderful thing to pick up. It's a skill that I'm trying to use now. It has gotten me here. Financial self-improvement is amazing, and I think that it can really help you with that, and it can help you with a lot of other things. But figuring yourself out and knowing that you're not alone when you're going through some of your struggles, I think is better, and is what the original message of all my content, even when it was coding related, was. And that's what I'm going to continue to make. And if he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies.
I feel like I've made this video before. It all blurs together because I've made so much content at this point. I've got over 400 videos, and I don't know what the next 400 are going to be, but I'm looking forward to it. Even if it kills my channel, it feels like the right thing to do. All right, folks. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you really enjoyed my positioning of these curtains. Like there was thought put into that. There was thought put into me shooting this video outside until I started sweating my ass off, and the guys doing construction were banging on shit, and there was like some lady listening to music next door and someone listening to the TV, and then the pool was running, and it was just like, it was too much. So I'm still going to be the guy in the room talking to the camera, even while I'm in Asia and doing all this stuff. Don't expect any travel vlogs from me in the near future. Sorry to disappoint. All right, with all that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.